Welcome back to Hardball. We're roughly 100 days out now from the midterm elections in November, and the president's acting nervous. Just in the past few days, he's reversed himself on a number of issues. He delayed his invitation to Russian President Vladimir Putin until 2019. He backed down on his demand for a border wall money, about $5 billion in the upcoming funding bill. And he promised to bail out farmers hurt by his tariff war. Well, today, Trump traveled to two Midwestern states where he tried to convince voters that his tough talk on tariffs, for example, will work out. It could be a tough sell. In Iowa, for example, prices for soybeans, pork, and other major farm goods have tumbled. According to the Morning Consult poll, as of June, 50% of Iowa voters disapprove of the president's performance now. And just yesterday, a new NBC Marist poll showed President Trump underwater, well below 50 in three Midwestern states. 36% of voters in both Michigan and Wisconsin approve of the president. That's all, while 38% of voters in Minnesota approve, so not exactly 50%. For more, I'm joined by Jason Johnson, politics editor at TheRoot.com. So some of those states, like Michigan, Wisconsin, he carried them. He carried Iowa. Yeah. It's not doing so well right now. Who's telling Trump that you got to fix this thing with tariffs? You got a problem. Just an example there. You're hurting real people with real product.
It's probably the governors, right? Like Scott Walker is probably calling through every single person possible saying, look, if you want me to keep this job, if you want me to keep doing what I'm doing in this state by pushing your policies and some voter suppression, you're going to need to do something about this. He is killing these guys at the local level, because even though Trump can go to a rally and have 20,000 people show up and cheer, he is dragging down the Republicans in that state who can't explain his policies, and that's what's hurting him across the Midwest.
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time the Democrats need a leader to beat Trump. They don't need a leader on this stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Tell me why it's different than having to have an opponent.
Well, so here's the thing. You know, Trump, if you're going against Donald Trump, all you need is somebody who can fight with him directly. But his policies, right, his policies are more dangerous than him. His policies aren't charismatic.
You mean all politics is local?
Exactly. All
yeah,
politics
I mean,
is local.
it hits people where they are.
Exactly. It hits people where they are.
They can vote no. They don't have to vote for somebody else. They just vote against Trump.
Exactly. They vote against his policies. They vote against the guys who like his policies. Third shifts, right? I called some friends in Indiana. I called some friends in Ohio. Third shifts at steel mills are getting shut down over this. Okay, you know, even if he
does... What's that, the graveyard?
Yeah, that's the graveyard.
11 to 7?
That's the I got to pay for my kids' tuition in the fall shift, and it's happening because of these steel tariffs. So even if he's got this $12 billion to help the farmers, if the steel tariffs keep going, that's going to damage steel workers and everybody who works with steel workers across the Midwest.
How long does he have to get a readjustment where he can prove that he did the right thing? He squeezed these other countries into readjusting. Has he got a couple months?
I don't think he's got
July, it'll be August in a week.
He's basically got maybe until Labor Day.
Ohio Governor John Kasich, no fan of the president. He's a Republican, but no fan of Trump. Slammed President Trump's $12 billion bailout of farmers as terrible policy. Here's John Kasich.
He's resorted to more farm welfare. You know, farmers don't want aid, they want trade. That's what they want. Now it's been compounded by actually furthering the debt of this country, spending as much as $12 billion providing aid to make up for the damage that's been done by the continuing tariff.
Governor Kasich later suggested that the aid package was akin to buying the votes of farmers. What do you make of that?
Well, it's true. It's true. And the problem is Mike DeWine is a big Trump supporter. Ohio's Republican Party is a very pro-Trump party. But if this policy can't be explained, and if people in Northeast Ohio and Southern Ohio are being hurt by these policies, you know, Kasich can say what he wants now, but they can't explain this. They can't justify.
Well, he's tough.
Yeah, he's tough. And also, he's still well-loved. He's the guy who sort of stood up to him, even if he's sort of distanced from the party. The president can't find a way to say adding these tariffs and lowering your prices now and making it difficult for you heading into the fall when it's time to do harvest season, when you got to buy school clothes, can't explain.
How does he get away with saying I'm not demanding the wall right now? Because the wall's a big part of his anti-immigration line.
Because all he's got to do is say it's going to get made. Remember, Trump's been lying by saying that the wall was already starting to be built, right, when we all know it hasn't. The wall has always been symbolic. It's symbolic about people who are worried about immigration, people who are racist, people who just feel that they need to do something about illegal immigration. So he can back off from this now. As long as he resurrects it at some point, he'll be fine with his base.
Thank you, Jason Johnson. An exuberant performance. Up next.